What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to SoCal Exploring. My name is Scott, and welcome back to the second HHN at Home event thrown by Horror Night Nightmares, a great account. You know, they're always putting out these speculation maps for us, and they're throwing this second virtual HHN event, and I'm happy to be a part of it for a second time. But today with me, I have brought one of my good friends and a member of the Boo Bros YouTube channel, Rob from the Howling Hour.
What's going on? Thanks for having me on, Scott. Really do appreciate it. I'm excited to get into this and be a part of this event with you.
Yeah, man, and I think that one of the coolest things is how everybody from the community is like watching all the different content creators and the content that they put out today. Just like with last year's event, it was a huge success, and we obviously did the video with John from the Hotline and Tony from the Nights of Horror, and that was a fun video. So hoping that you guys enjoy this video. We thought about it, and you know, we figured why not do our top 5 favorite terror trams at HHN Hollywood. Now these are just our personal favorites from, you said you've been going since 2010, Rob?
Yes, 2010.
Okay, I've been going since 2010 too, so we have an even range of terror tram experiences, but we're going to be doing our top 5 favorites. If you guys have a specific set list that you guys enjoy, then leave them down in the comment section. We'd love to read your guys' list as well. But starting off, Rob, you can start off with your number 5.
Okay, well, Scott, my number 5, have my list right here. I do enjoy kind of original things, but for number 5 for me, I'm going to go with the Titans of Terror, and kind of it was hosted by Chucky, so we get a little taste of your Chucky humor. I like this terror tram so much. Part of it is that you do the ride in there, you get to see a little video, and Chucky kind of sets you up and he gives you a little humor before you get there, and then they drop you off, and then it's kind of all chaos. And one thing I will say that kind of stands out with the Titans of Terror, you know, you got Leatherface, you got Jason, and you got Freddy with a little hint of Chucky, is the brutality as you're walking through kind of I would say not so much a maze, but just the route that they have you go through. The brutality of some of the kills that they show is just insane. I look back on them and I'm just like, man, like, you know, there was this one scene where this guy's getting folded up into a bed, and it's just that stuff like that pops out to me and reminds me of, man, like the terror tram. When they put the Titans of Terror in there, it was definitely some heavy, you know, all those guys are heavy hitters, and I really enjoyed it. So at number 5 for me is Titans of Terror, hosted by Chucky. Interesting
that you have Titans of Terror at number 5. I have it somewhere else in the rankings, which we'll get to a little bit later. Okay. But for my number 5, it's going to be Scream for Your Life. Now, I did enjoy this terror tram experience. Obviously, Ghostface, we don't get to see him at Halloween Horror Nights a whole lot. And I love Ghostface. I love the Scream movies. So it's cool to see it on the terror tram. Now, the only reason why I have it so high is because it wasn't that detailed, you know. It was still a fun experience, but it wasn't as detailed as some of the other terror tram experiences were. So that's the only reason I have it so high. But it does make my top 5 favorites on this list, like I said, because it's Ghostface, because it's Scream. And, you know, we need another Scream maze at HHN. Come on, Universal Creative, get on it. We need some form of Scream. Even if you guys bring back a Scream terror tram and really revamp it, I'd be fine with that. Also, for Scream for Your Life, they still had the trail that went up to the left right after the Bates Motel, which I believe they ended in 2016 was the last, 2015 was the last year that they did it. But having that second trail after the Bates Motel made the experience all the more fun, and that's why Scream for Your Life goes in my number 5 slot.
That one was Scream for Your Life. Scream is my favorite, you know, scary movie of all time.
Yeah.
That one was right outside my top 5. I had, you know, I was flip-flopping, but that's definitely a good choice for your top 5.
Yeah, I will say this was a kind of, even though like we were talking before this, we only had about like 8 terror tram experiences to choose from. It was still a hard list to make nonetheless.
Yes. Okay, so from my number 4, you actually just, I think you kind of mentioned it. In 2015 was the last year we got that, where we get to go off to the left in that trail, and it was the Purge. Now, this was, I like, you know, the Purge at that point, I don't think was too played out, so it was still, you know, kind of fresh, and I enjoyed it because, for one, we did get to go walk through kind of that hillside, and I feel like it was just the environment, being kind of, it almost felt like you were in the woods, because you're on a hillside. But some of the scenes that they had, there was this one scene where they're kind of trapped in a cage, and they're kind of swinging this bat at this person on the swing, and they're going back and forth, and stuff like that. And the mask, the Purge mask, say what you will, however may you feel about them or not, but I think they're very creepy. Just like the kind of like that doll blank face just
the
staring
one of
at you.
Him smiling is creepy.
Yes. And you know what? And just speaking of smiling, the main host of that Terror Tram, kind of like that preppy guy. For whatever reason, I feel like it's like American Psycho kind of vibes. That guy creeps me out.
I know, and he did great for the promos and everything too.
Oh yeah, they were so amazing that he did a great job. Whoever that was that did that role, but super creepy. The face, just the kills, and just the concept of the Purge is always a little frightening for me.
Number 4 for me is going to be all the Walking Dead Terror Trams. So we had the Walking Dead from, I believe it was 2012 until 2014. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, correct me down in the comment section, but I believe it was 2012 until 2014. Now, the Walking Dead experiences, they were all, in my eyes at least, practically the same. You can't really compare it to mazes because all the mazes were different. But in my eyes, the Terror Tram experiences were the same when they had the Walking Dead. I believe one year it was just the Terror Tram invaded by the Walking Dead, and the other years they were actually saying it's the Walking Dead Terror Tram. Now, even though I have them ranked all grouped together, I do have a personal favorite of when the Walking Dead was featured on the Terror Tram, and that is 2013. Now, every year they have chainsaw guys as soon as you get off the tram, and they chase after you, or they wait for you to get there, and all of them turn their chainsaws on, and that's like one of the greatest things about the tram experience. They had the prison guards, which are they look like the ones that were in the Walking Dead attraction, the prison guard that you see in there at Universal Studios Hollywood, and they had tons of them lined up with chainsaws. And they also had the prison tower as well, which I thought was a nice touch. And overall, I think that the 2013 Walking Dead Terror Tram was very detailed as far as what they could do. Now, with the Terror Tram experience, you can't really do tons of big sets and, amazing detailed because it's all outside and it's like a trail. But I feel like with 2013, it was executed very well, and I really enjoyed it. And that's why it goes in at my number 4. As far as all the Walking Deads go, but 2013's Walking Dead was definitely my favorite.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you are correct. There was a 12 through 13 and 14, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think they did a good job each year. They were kind of not so much all the same, but
yeah,
kind of they stood along the same line of what they did. But it's definitely a good choice. I am a fan of Walking Dead, so good on that.
Yeah, for sure. They weren't like all exactly the same, like I was saying, but they definitely are, zombies.
Yeah, right.
You can't, like I said, you can't really compare it to mazes, where maze experiences are a little bit different.
So for my number 3, and as I stated earlier, I like kind of originality, and so I'm gonna go with it's the Terror Tram, and where Eli Roth had kind of put his spin on it and kind of got to direct it. I liked it.
2016 or 2018?
I believe it was 2016. Let me double check my 2016. Yes.
Okay, because that's the year that they deemed Eli Roth. In 2018, they kind of just took Eli Roth's idea and did it their own.
Yeah, no, it was 2016. I think it was where it was like Eli Roth's Terror Tram or something like that. I remember the exact wording of it, but I liked it because you kind of got very disturbing images, and some as far as the masks and the way he kind of took his own take on different things. You got to there wasn't like a specific like, oh, this is what the Terror Tram excuse me, this is what the Terror Tram killer is, or it was kind of a variety of different characters you got. So I like that. And also one thing that kind of stood out for me was if you walk through these, throughout the years, you get kind of, I call them kill tables, where, you kind of have someone doing something to someone. And this year, you had a couple that just kind of stood out. It's like, always someone ripping out someone's guts, or being electrocuted. So as you walk through the route of the Terror Tram, they have, I felt, really good kind of where the characters could hide. They had the good jump scares in there throughout, even towards the end when you get to like the kind of the little cabin area where you walk through. They had little good jump scares in there. And overall that year, Eli Roth kind of directing as far as the Terror Tram and what was going to happen in there. I think it was a really good job, and that's why I have it at my number 3.
Interesting. Eli Roth, I thought, was a cool like cross collaboration that they did, and I like that he had different play-ins to future HHN events. Like with 2017, he actually directed the commercial, which I thought was a great commercial, one of the best HHN commercials that we've seen by far. So it's cool that Eli Roth is in the Horror Nights realm. But for my number 3, it's going to go to Purge Survive the Night, similar to what your number 4 was. And I think that a lot of what you said was summed up very well. One thing that you didn't mention that I really enjoyed was the whole storyline behind Purge Survive the Night was that you were getting on the tram and you were going to the Purge party. Well, it wasn't a Purge party. You were going to be the victims. But they were talking about on the tram, like getting you all excited and stuff, like what Purge festivities are you going to do? All this other stuff. I thought that was really cool because I don't know about you, Rob, but the Terror Tram experience is cool and all, like actually getting down. But what sets the mood is you being on the tram, pitch black, all you see is the screens, everybody's all huddled together and scared, and that sets the mood. That sets up the experience that you're about to get down and see, which I thought was cool. And I thought that the Survive the Night one was really neat and really set that mood. I really do like that scene that you're talking about where they had the victims in the cage, and that was a big cage on top of the hill. So it was also like one of those massive sets that you wouldn't really see in a maze per se. You'd see it in more of a scare zone, which I thought was cool. And it wasn't just, just random chain link fence that was set up as a cage. They had different props in there. They had the scare actors that were all bloodied up and everything. So it fit the story perfectly of Survive the Night. And overall, there was plenty of scare actors. There wasn't a lack of scare actors. I feel like in some of the Terror Tram renditions in Hollywood, that there were a lack of scare actors. And with the Purge one, I don't believe that was true at all. I think that they had plenty of scare actors. They had a good mix of different scare actors as far as characters go. And that was the last year, 2015, that, we got to go up on that hill the very last year, which is unfortunate that we don't get it now, but rest in peace to the hill. Maybe one day they'll bring it back. One
day. No, I do agree with you, Scott. I feel like that drive up there, that storyline plays into, whatever story they were telling you that year, and the atmosphere that they set, like you're saying, with the lights off and everything, just the monitors going, that plays into the kind of experience that you're going to have as you walk through the rest of the Terror Tram route. So
for sure,
when they do a good job doing that, I think it just lays the foundation for the rest of the Terror Tram as well. So for my number 2, you kind of went with all of them, but I'm just gonna pick one specific year, and this was the first year that they did The Walking Dead at the Terror Tram, and I think it was just I think it was just The Walking Dead. I don't know if it was the Terror Tram invaded by the Walking Dead.
I think this is the one that was just Terror Tram, but it featured The Walking Dead. Like they didn't have a set name for it.
Right. I think it was that year at the mazes. I think it was just like Dead Inside or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this year was my number 2 of The Walking Dead in 2012. For one, at the time, Walking Dead was fresh. And, I'm still a big fan of it, but at the time, it was fresh. I was a big fan of it. And so to jump on the Terror Tram and know we were going out there and we were going to be surrounded by zombies. And I know that the detail that they put into the way these characters' masks look, their outfit, I knew it was going to be like I was going through The Walking Dead. So just overall, you go through there. I feel like the actors did a really good job, being zombies, giving us different variety of zombies. I enjoyed that. Just the way they walk around and
yeah.
I really liked it. Them, just kind of pretending to eat someone or just kind of eating someone's body parts. But the one thing I will say that kind of stood out the most, and it will forever be one of the greatest memories I ever had, is I did not tell my wife that they drop you when you get on the Terror Tram, that they drop you off and you have to walk through this.
Yeah.
She was not expecting this. She did not know what was going on. So when they stopped the Terror Tram and they were like, all right, everyone get off, she was like, no, she was deathly afraid.
It was just a joke, It wasn't a joke.
Yes. So this is, she like, when they were like, get off the Terror Tram, get off the tram, this is where we're leaving you. She's like, no, this isn't happening. No, this is not real. So much so that we were the last ones to get off of the Terror Tram,
which is even worse.
yes, because now they're all focused on us when we finally arrive to the line of zombies. I mean, the line of the guards and everything with the chainsaws. So forever that will live in my mind. One of many great memories that I have, specifically this year, The Walking Dead, of my wife having to walk. We watched pretty much alone through that horde of people with chainsaws, because she didn't take it serious that we had to get off the ride. So
with all the characters following you.
Yes, pretty much. So that was number 2 for me, is the first year they had The Walking Dead at the Terror Tram.
Number 2 for me is going to go to one that you had mentioned earlier, which is Titans of Terror featuring Chucky. Now, one thing that I absolutely loved about the Titans of Terror was the giant Chuckies. Obviously Chuckies are small, but the giant Chuckies with chainsaws, where else can you get that? That was amazing. I thought, it was obviously a perfect promotional push for Universal, since the new Chucky movie had just come out. But I thought that the Titans of Terror Tram was really well executed. You get Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface. You can't go wrong with that. A lot of people wanted Michael Myers a part of this. I don't think that Michael Myers would necessarily fit into the Terror Tram. Yes, he'd fit in with the Titans of Terror, but I think that choosing Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface was perfect. I also saw the victims and such in the base motel area wearing the Camp Crystal Lake shirts, and they were also kind of playing this scare type of role, as far as just not being just the victim. They're playing like a scare role. There were a couple of kills and stuff of Jason, like attacking these victims that all had the Camp Crystal Lake shirts on. Thought that was a really nice ad. Freddy Krueger dressed up as different jobs. There was a Freddy Krueger policeman. What? You can't go wrong with that, And then of course it ended with Leatherface, which was, ended perfectly. Leatherface, chainsaws, it just all works out perfectly. There was nothing really, like, at first I was like, Titans of Terror Tram was just kind of meh, but looking back at it and really thinking about it, I do have this really strong appreciation for the Titans of Terror Tram, and I hope one day that we see it come back with different horror icons. It doesn't necessarily have to be deemed as a Titans of Terror, but it could feature different horror icons from horror movies and horror TV shows that we know and love.
Yeah, no, again, this was on my list, so I liked it, and I think I'm one of those people who wanted Michael Myers, but kind of mulling over it afterwards, I feel like they did a good job, and Michael Myers wasn't needed. I feel like it would have been kind of crowded with him in there, because I think they did a really good job, like you were saying, of kind of Camp Crystal Lake was a section, and the Sawyer's kind of area was a section, and Freddy dressed as everything from a firefighter to a police officer. They did a great job there. So I think, and what you said, I think is a great idea too. We could have other Titans, maybe a Ghostface comes back in a Titans of Terror kind of Terror Tram kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, no, excellent choice there, Scott.
All right, well, here we go. Number 1, we are down to our personal favorites, Terror Tram from 2010 until the present day. Rob, take it away.
So Scott, my number 1 is, I'm just gonna say it and not hold you guys off any longer. It is Hollywood Harry.
Okay.
I love. So clowns are creepy. It's not like my thing. I'm gonna tell you guys, clowns don't scare me, but deep down inside, clowns are creepy and
clowns
scary.
Scare anybody,
Yes. So Hollywood Harry being a clown is terrifying, but I think the story they gave him and his backstory, I think was amazing. Like, I think they just knocked it out of the park with Hollywood Harry. And we here in Hollywood don't get like those icons that they do at the other park. But I feel like this was like a start and something to build off of. And I think that
this is what we need in Hollywood.
Yes. I feel like if they had this an icon every year or maybe every other year, something similar to Hollywood Harry, it would elevate the event, a lot more. It would just kind of give you your like, hey, remember this from this year. You would have those characters that kind of just stood out.
Yeah, it'd be like looking back at like, hey, do you remember the Naughty Bad Doggies? Do you remember that Easter egg? Stuff like that. Like, it'd be cool to see it as amazing one day.
In saying that, with Hollywood Harry, I thought the walkthrough was amazing. I think they did a really good job. A very creepy, very disturbing imagery, and that's what you want from a Terror Tram. I mean, I think they do a great job. As far as the scenes you walk through, it's pretty much the same every year. So what they have to do is make the characters and make the story stand out, because you're walking through the same thing kind of every year. So, and I think with this year, with Hollywood Harry, his storyline, the way they portrayed him in the maze is, just kind of, it was his different suits, the different weapons he would use, the different kills that they had for him. I just thought overall, this to me, there's a reason why I put it at number one, because it stood out above all the other Terror Trams that I've went through.
For sure. I wouldn't disagree with you on that. I think that it was great. And this is the one from 2018 where they actually had the different storylines. And like you said, the backstory of Hollywood Harry, the Dread Time stories, the clowns on a plane, they had it all, which I think was really neat. However, mine's a little bit different. My favorite Terror Tram is personally going to go to Eli Roth's Hollywood Harry. Eli Roth presents the Terror Tram. That is where we first got to see Hollywood Harry, Kudos the Clown.
Okay.
Got to see the backstory. And the reason why I like this so much, and that it's my number one, is because it was, and like, I guess this is different from you because you say clowns aren't scary, but they're creepy. For me, I enjoy clowns, like in a scare zone, in a maze, wherever it be. I think that it's the perfect thing for a horror event. With this Terror Tram, it felt like a rundown carnival. Everything about it, between the music and everything, it felt like a rundown carnival. There was characters in the loading station of the Terror Tram. I remember there was a clown, I think, that was playing with a balloon. That may have been 2018 actually that they were doing that. But either way, there was always characters interacting with you in the loading station or in that like general hub area of the studio. So I feel like with that, whole feel of it being this rundown carnival, I like that a lot. I thought it was great, and I have this strong appreciation for it. Eli Roth did an amazing job. It was cool seeing the different clowns and the different costumes and the different, makeup. For some of them that did have makeup, other ones had masks. I thought it was awesome. I loved it, and I would take it back in a heartbeat. I would take back this kind of rundown carnival. Do I think that they should build on the Hollywood Harry story and bring like you said, the start of an icon? Yes, I do think so. And I think that the prime example of being, the first 2016 rendition of Hollywood Harry in 2018 shows that you can play into different storylines still surrounding Kudos. So here's the hoping that they still do that. Here's hoping that they still bring Hollywood Harry every year to Hollywood. It would be awesome.
No, and I think just based on like what you said and just things that I've said, we've gotten different things from different years. And like you were saying, Eli Roth kind of bringing in Hollywood Harry and him getting his own Terror Tram later on. But just the way how from one year it, like you were saying, it felt like a rundown carnival, and then another year it's completely different. So I think, with just overall, I feel like they do a really good job with the Terror Trams. I don't remember a year where I was just like, oh, I'm disappointed. Even Walking Dead back to back to back, every year they did something a little different to be like, okay, it's not the same. I see them trying to revitalize it, revamp it, do something to keep it fresh. And I can appreciate that as far as when it comes to, trying to keep the Terror Tram, fresh and gory.
Well, there you guys have it. There are our top 5 favorite Terror Tram experiences at Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood. from 2010 until the present day. Guys, we had a fun time doing this. I know, like, I love doing videos with Rob, whether it be on the Boo Bros or on SoCal Exploring. You know, we're here doing videos. And subscribe to the Boo Bros and the Howling Hour if you haven't already, because the Boo Bros, if you guys don't know, and then hopefully this brings a lot of eyes since Horror Nights at Home is going on, is a collaborative group of YouTubers. And by the time Halloween Horror Nights at Home is going on, I don't know how many subs we have, but I'm sure it'll be more than what we have right now, even if it's one more than what we have right now. So thank you, because we're filming this like 3 weeks in advance. So thank you guys for all your support on that channel. But yeah, subscribe to Boo Bros, subscribe to Rob, links down in the description, and subscribe to SoCal Exploring if you want to see more videos like the one that you just watched. Huge shout out to Horror Night Nightmares. Thank you guys for letting us be a part of this for a second time, and we hope to be a part of the next one if there is a HHN at Home number 3. Any last words, Rob?
No, just you know, thank you, Scott, for having me on. I love doing videos with you. Love all the Boo Bros. You guys are all amazing. Yeah, and you know, I just want to say I love growing with you guys. You guys are all this community is awesome. And thank you everyone, you know, who's came over and supported my channel, and you know, Scott, all you guys, you're always hyping me up, and I'm learning from you guys, and just want to say thank you and appreciate it, and I love doing videos with all of you.
And with that being said, guys, that does it for today's video. If you guys are new here, subscribe with those bell notifications on. My name is Scott.
I am Rob.
And we have been, for today, SoCal Exploring. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.